Today we discuss your NCERT book chapter polynomial. In this polynomial, graph of the polynomial. Now discuss graph of the polynomial. Linear polynomial graph of linear polynomial is a straight line. A straight line. Quadratic polynomial. Graph of quadratic polynomial is a parabolic. Graph of quadratic polynomial px equals to x square plus bx plus c, where a not equals to 0 is a parabolic. Parabola is open upward if a greater than 0. Like parabola is open downward if a less than 0. Like graph of linear polynomial is straight line, graph of quadratic polynomial is parabolic, or this parabolic are two shapes. Parabola is open upward if a greater than 0, like U shape. Parabola is open downward if a less than 0, like parabolic shape. Parabola is open upward if a greater than 0, like this. Parabola is open downward if a less than 0, like this. Where a is coefficient of x square, where a is coefficient of x square. तो ग्राफ ऑफ द पॉलिनोमियल depend on the coefficient of x square. If a greater than 0, then parabola open upward. If a less than 0, then parabola open downward. Like this, like this. Next, observation of the graph of the quadratic polynomial. Observation of the graph of quadratic polynomial. Observation of the graph of quadratic polynomial. Graph of quadratic polynomial px equals to ax square plus bx plus c, a not equals to 0. Intersect the x-axis. Graph of quadratic polynomial px of ax square plus bx plus c a not equals to 0 intersect the x-axis depending to D. Depending to D, where D equals to b square minus 4ac. if d less greater than 0, then graph of polynomial can be intersect the x-axis to distinct points. In this case, quadratic polynomial have two distinct real zeros. In this case, quadratic polynomial have two distinct real zeros. Second, if d equals to 0, then graph of polynomial can be intersect the touches the x-axis only one point. In this case, quadratic polynomial have one real zeros. Therefore, two zeros are same. In this case, if d equals to 0, then graph of the polynomial can be touches the x-axis only one point. In this case, quadratic polynomial have one real zero. Therefore, two zeros are same in this case. Third, if d less than 0, then graph of polynomial cannot be intersect the x-axis. in this case quadratic polynomial have not real zeros. Graph of quadratic polynomial intersect the x-axis, 2 points, then zeros of the polynomials to real and distinct, and the graph of the quadratic polynomial touch the x-axis. In this case zeros of the quadratic polynomial only 1, therefore these two zeros are same. If graph of the quadratic polynomial not intersect the x-axis, in this case not intersect the x-axis, in this case zeros of the quadratic polynomial have not real. Graph intersect the x-axis, touch the x-axis, not intersect the x-axis, depend on the d. Then if d greater than 0, then graph of the polynomial can be intersect the x-axis two distinct points. In this case quadratic polynomial have two distinct real zero. In this case if d greater than 0, in this case quadratic polynomial have two distinct real zero. If d equals to 0, then graph of polynomial can be touch the x-axis only 1 point. In this case quadratic polynomial have one real zero, therefore two zeros are same in this case. If d less than 0, then graph of the polynomial cannot be intersect the x-axis. In this case quadratic polynomial have not real zeros. We discussed in example this case and this case. Discuss different examples of in this case d greater than 0, d equals to 0, d less than 0, and draw a graph of the quadratic polynomial. Third, vertex of the quadratic polynomial Next, coordinates of vertex of quadratic of graph of quadratic polynomial. Coordinate of vertex of the graph of quadratic polynomial is minus b upon 2a minus d upon 4a, where d equals to b square minus 4ac. Coordinate of vertex of graph of quadratic polynomial is vertex of the parabola, where d equals to b square minus 4ac.